What if poverty isn't something that happened to you, but something that was quietly handed to you, generation after generation, like a family heirloom no one wanted to keep but couldn't figure out how to put down? Elijah Cross knew what it felt like to be poor, not just in the bank, in the bones. His father Raymond never said the words out loud. He said it in silence, in the things he never tried, in the doors he never knocked on. By age 10, Elijah had already absorbed the most dangerous belief a young mind can carry, that wealth belonged to other people, people who looked different, who lived somewhere else, who were simply built for a different world. 12-hour shifts, minimum wage, the same Tuesday as every Monday. This was the life Raymond Cross had prepared his son for, without ever meaning to. The strange thing wasn't that Elijah was broke. It was that he wasn't angry about it. Anger requires hope, and hope somewhere along the way had been quietly educated out of him. He lived in a neighborhood that had learned to settle, and settling, he never realized, is contagious. This was not a story about laziness. Elijah worked harder than most men he knew. This was a story about programming, because the most powerful prison in the world has no walls. It lives between your ears. Elijah believed the only way out was luck, because no one had ever shown him the door. His father Raymond had his own moment, his own door, but the voice in Raymond's own head, inherited from his father, told him not to walk through it. Poverty of mindset doesn't announce itself. It passes silently, like a gene, like a whispered fear at bedtime that the child mistakes for wisdom. Then one Tuesday that was nothing like every other Tuesday, everything changed. A man in a sleek car rolled down his window in the rain and extended a cream-colored card. Elijah Cross almost didn't take it. The card read, Solomon Ward, Wealth Architect, and on the back, handwritten, unhurried, 4 words that would begin to unravel 26 years of inherited silence. You're not broke, you're just programmed. He read it 3 times, then a 4th. At home, he searched the name. Solomon Ward had grown up in a neighborhood worse than Elijah's. No father, no connections, nothing but a mother who believed in invisible things. And yet Solomon Ward was now worth $40 million. Not from inheritance, not from luck, from something Elijah had never once considered. He almost didn't call. Raymond's voice in his head said, people like us don't call numbers like that, but his thumb pressed dial anyway. Solomon Ward didn't look like money. He looked like something rarer. Certainty. The first question Solomon asked wasn't about ambition or goals. It was, tell me what your father said about rich people. Elijah listed them, one by one. Solomon wrote them on a yellow notepad. By the time Elijah finished, there were 11 beliefs, 11 inherited verdicts he had never once questioned. Solomon slid the notepad back across the table. These aren't your beliefs, Elijah. These are your father's fears, wearing your face. The human brain, Solomon explained, is a recording device before it is a thinking device. Whatever it hears repeatedly before age 12, it treats as truth. And Raymond Cross had received the same recording from his father, who received it from his. Going back 3 generations, all the way to a man who had real structural reasons to believe the system was closed to him. Elijah's great-grandfather had every reason to believe that door was locked, because in his time, it was. Legally, deliberately. He warned his son not with cruelty but with love. Don't get your hopes too high, son. This world wasn't made with us in mind. His son believed him, because love and limitation can sound exactly alike. But the world changed, and the belief did not. Elijah felt something he hadn't expected sitting in that coffee shop. He felt sorry for his father. Solomon gave him the moment. Then, compassion is the first step, but compassion alone doesn't break the chain. He gave Elijah one assignment, not a business plan, not a stock tip, a book. Read 10 pages a day. Your brain needs new data. That night, Elijah read 22 pages, because when you're starving for something you didn't know you needed, you can't stop at 10. The book wasn't about money, not directly. It was about the invisible stories we tell ourselves, and how those stories become the architecture of our lives. Solomon said something Elijah turned over in his mind for days afterward. Your father was a good man, and good men can carry bad maps. That night, Elijah called Raymond. They talked for an hour, the longest conversation they'd had in years. Raymond didn't understand everything, but somewhere in the call, he went quiet and said, "Maybe I taught you some things I should have unlearned myself." Solomon showed him the shift, not lying to yourself, asking better questions. "I can't afford it" becomes, "How can I afford it?" The same four words, aimed in a completely different direction. Your brain follows whatever question you give it. When you change the frequency of your thinking, you begin to see what was always there, but invisible to a mindset to a different channel. 3 weeks earlier, Elijah would never have written a proposal for management, not because he lacked the idea, but because Raymond's voice would have asked, "Who are you to suggest anything?" But now something was answering back. The factory adopted his idea. His supervisor told him it was credited to him by name. Elijah didn't know how to receive that, then learned how to sit with it. Solomon showed him a compound chart, $20 a week, invested consistently, over 20 years. Elijah followed the line to the final number and went quiet for a very long time. He walked past the scratch cards without stopping. A small act. The most significant thing he had done in years. His first win wasn't financial, it was psychological. He had proposed an idea, and it had been taken seriously, and Raymond's voice in his head said nothing. 6 months in, Elijah had read 11 books, completed 2 courses, saved his first $1,000, and received his first promotion. None of it felt real. All of it was. He didn't move neighborhoods. He didn't buy anything flashy. He understood now what Solomon meant. The geography of poverty is secondary to the geography of the mind, because the chain doesn't just break forward, it breaks sideways, into the lives of the people watching you. Subscribe to Aram Mind for more.